fuck it, I've turned into this vlogger with no audience. Well, no audience. See, I've unlocked something already with no audience, right? Or little audience, right? Don't let the size of your audience diminish the worth and quality with which you align your purpose, because at the end of the day, you think all of those people with their thousands of followers, do you think they started off with thousands? No, they started off with zero. Incidentally, I posted up a video there recently, and it said, the other week I had one that was a 1.5 thousand views, and then I got another one there the other day, and it was just that kind of Braveheart thing. Again, it's just like taking the piss. It's like, oh, rise to greatness. If anyone actually watches these, they actually think I'm serious, please, that's that speaks to the pain of the creator that lies deep within, that's a paradox there, isn't it? The pain that we feel deep within, that we feel the need to deal with. And then you have more pain. This life is pain. Wake up to it, grow up. Wake up to the fact that life is pain, But pain, the pain that you catharsize and alchemize and not yet monetize, then moves on to the pain of misunderstanding, when people think that you actually take yourself that seriously, when really at the end of the day, the whole thing's one big fucking goof, And I was watching one of these YouTubers before, right, and he was talking about you shouldn't care. They were talking about their path with the whole rise of the creator journey, and they were talking about how you start off quite humble, very little followers, and they looked back and they were like, that was the most fruitful time, the most creative time, the most exciting time, because it's more exciting when hello, that's the whole buzz, isn't it? It's trying to get an audience, And I made a video the other day. It was 1.1 thousand video views, right? 1,000 views to get one subscriber on YouTube, So at this level, I have to keep doing like 3 videos a day, just post them all up, and I'd be like, but this is what I'm trying to say, to quote the great Alex Hardy, who's talking about, it's like playing the lottery. It is. You post up the shit and you go, occasionally you hit the spot, and if you hit the spot enough times, say you hit the spot, let's just quantify this, say you hit the spot once a week, right? I think we could do that. Say you hit the spot once a week, so you got like 1 new subscriber a week, right? So that's 552. That's 52 new subscribers per year. That's pretty shit, but it could become exponential. You could get say you got up to 1,000, because I've got 564 subs. Not that I'm counting, but say you got up to 1,000, then it'd be like critical mass. And again, like I've alluded to before, because people are basically sheep, it'd be like, then that gives me permission to subscribe. It's not based on the quality of the content. No, it's based on the number of views and the number of subscribers, because people are sheep, basically, aren't they? They need to feel safe. They need to feel, But, it felt like a good idea to go live again. Why not? Why not? Drift away. Ken, the problem is, right? All the content that rises to the top is all shite content. A lot of it's shite. It's like, is there no any? I think we need more Captain Beefhearts to kind of like mess the energy up. Do something unpredictable. Don't be formulaic. Be yourself. Do something different. Talk. Like, no talking to the camera. That's original. I didn't see many other folk doing that. Maybe there are other folk doing it like me, but they're all, again, in obscurity. A bit like in the gallery, Dire Straits, isn't it? I have to say, he passed away in obscurity. the stuff that I've talked about, I think, has been quite important. But again, fuck the audience, because yeah, speaking of what I was saying before, it's not really about, I mean, look at this, right? I'm just sitting here, right, and I'm going, do you know what I mean? Who cares? Nothing matters. None of it matters. It's all bullshit. It's all absolute bullshit at the end of the day. I was thinking before last year about like how to grow an audience. I start turning up at these events and be careful what you wish for. By the time you got an audience, you'd be like, oh, I don't give a fuck anymore. Fuck yous, you know, I don't care. I'm just talking to myself anyway. I'm talking to the imagined cool audience that is actually out there, that actually feels what I'm doing. And there are folk out like that, but that's the difficulty, isn't it? You can't. Playing the YouTube game is like, it's like it's like firing darts at a moving target, but it's like throwing, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, innit? Try to find your audience, because they are out there. But I think more often than not, invariably what happens is folk didn't find the content they like. The content is out there, but they can't find it. They're watching shite content that doesn't speak to them. So, stream of consciousness, if I decide to say something, and if I think it's of merit, I'll fucking say it. And if that's bullshit, then blow me, move on to something else. That's what I would say. But you know what I mean? I've taken a break from the whole video editing, but I think if I combined the stream of consciousness and the video print, I think I've improved my presentation skills. Do you not think so? I think that last one that I did at the bike path there, I thought that was quite good. And I was talking to someone there just about that. I was talking to someone there, just talking about anything, right? I was talking about the fact that it might come across. See, this is a funny. You could talk about loads of shit, right? And you got to have the artistic control, you know. But I think you do and you don't, you know, you need some sense of control, but sometimes it's good to talk laterally. I think it's you know, you can talk about anything you want. And I don't want to be a one-size-fits-all boring person who's the same old boring shit. I want to do different shit. Sometimes I get excited by doing video editing and doing kind of this style of thing, and then other times I want to sit and talk bullshit just as I feel it, just to make myself feel good. Next day I'll feel like doing something else, you know, doing a wee short film maybe with a couple of mates, you know. It's all good, Ken. And that in the world is seen as being a weakness, isn't it? Because you've got to be like in this one box. It's like, you know, your marketing, you know, your I guess to a certain extent you've got to market yourself to the world. What are you? Well, I'm just being myself. Is that not enough? Surely the words I'm speaking words in the English language, surely it would connect with someone and they would go, oh, I'm interested, this guy's intelligent, he's been around the block, duh, let's find out what he's got to think about, you know, this and that. But no, I've made the effort and it's gone down a black hole mostly, so I wouldn't say I'm giving up, but I'm just like, I think one of the things that you have to do, one of the strategies, not even strategies, one of the tools, whatever, is you got to take a step back and be reinvigorated, pour into your cup again, you know, actually get inspired by other folks' content, which I do, you know, but I'm not going to be doing what everyone else is doing. That's boring. Do what you want to do, you know, mix up the energy, you know what I mean, like, that's what it is, you know, why not do a stream of consciousness and drop into a song and drop into a rap song? I didn't see anyone else doing that. There probably are other crazy, in inverted commas, people like me doing that kind of thing out there, you know what I mean? But their stuff's probably gone down a black hole as well. So, you know, why am I going to sit here and write a fucking rap album? There's other folk doing that. Nah, quote a rap album, quote a song, quote a motivational thing, quote someone that said this and that, relate it to your own shit, you know? Yeah, and then appeal to authority, insert your achievements to go, yeah, this guy isn't fucking stupid. But again, when you've done that, it's enough to drive you fucking mental, because in your life, this is another thing, we were talking about this today, I'm getting warmed up now, right? Dragon soup, half a dragon soup, we're getting warmed up now. In your life, people are projecting and portraying their own bullshit and craziness onto you, and then making out that you're crazy, and then you speak out on it, and then you're negative. So you're trying to be like, bring something cool to the table, just like, yeah, woo, yeah. Oh, you're fucking mental. Then you try and explain it, you're mental. Then you go and then you vent on your YouTube. What's this guy about? He's fucking mental. Don't you like that? So you can't win. But why would you want to be approved by a bunch of sheep anyway? So who cares? I'm the one doing the shit. You know, adventuring, living, athletic achievements, creative achievements. I would consider, like, you didn't want to be doing the same old thing. That Braveheart thing I did there was just a bit of fun, you know. But you go, it's just practice, isn't it? Presentation skills. That's what it is. I like the one I did about talking about the family, the bullshit family WhatsApp group. I thought that was quite enlightening. I thought that the presentation, the control, the focus, the relaxation, it all flowed the way I wanted it to flow. I didn't use any flowery adjectives or I didn't plan it, but I liked the way that one flowed. And again, I was talking about this there. It might be seen as, oh, you start to get into dark territories. This is the danger. People are dark with their dark energy, pouring it onto me because they can't measure up to any of my cool shit, right? And then I vent and rant about it, and then the danger is that if you do that too much, you get drawn into the darkness and never want to do that. I should be focused on what the fuck I'm doing. Why the fuck should I give a fuck about what anyone else thinks about what I'm doing? Do you know what I mean? That's the danger, isn't it? But anyway, on a positive note, I was how speaking words in the English language is a crime. I wouldn't have to do this if folk in my real life actually were interested in anything I had to say, but you know, it's just the way it is. That's where we are. On the positive note, my brother sent me a link to a nice vlogging strapped to your chest, you know, camera, you know, with 64 megabyte and strap on whatever, and I was like, oh well, he's actually, you know, he's actually showed me a bit of love there. He's going, yeah, Ken, you're doing this shit. So that was a wee bit of encouragement there, you know. So I will take back what I said in a sense when I was saying that some people seem to want to shit on everything you do, but if I can quote my mother, she used to say, I used to have conversations with her and my stepdad about all this creative stuff, right? Like try to build a YouTube channel, all this pish, and they would say, my mum was very wise. She said, just because folk aren't liking or subbing or commenting or interacting doesn't mean they're not watching it and not interested in what you got to say, you know. So, but at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? Because it's what you're connected with that's the most important thing, you know what I mean? But that's what she would say. And so, you know, in terms of like my brother, who I've slagged off several times, but it's just that I love, it's just that I want this situation to be a bit better, you know. But to quote Mel B, I have different relationships with different people, so didn't try and change people. I didn't want to change people. I'm just like, can folk know, like, open up a bit and be a bit more, you know, I'm trying to improve the situation here, but you know, but I. Just because my brother hasn't like said, oh, well done, Dave, that's cool, wow, you don't expect your brother to be like that. Secretly he'll like respect what you're doing, but you can't, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say there about the, just because someone isn't giving you applause and saying well done for that thing that you just did there, you know, it doesn't mean they're no secretly going, oh, I respect what he's doing there. This is what I mean. You've got to see people as they are, respect people as they are, take them for who they are, and try and see the good in people, but don't try and don't try and don't have too high expectations, do you know what I mean? It's like just everything at its right place, isn't it? It's like, you know, he sends me that link, and that was a wee bit of support there, so I'll take back what I said about him. But I think anyone that's ever watched these, they've probably noticed that I've slagged my brother off, and then like a day or two later, I'm like bigging him up, saying, oh, that was actually cool, he said, it's just... But again, I think that speaks to the oversensitive, temperamental artiste, oversensitive. But I've had that before, oversensitive. But you know, I'd throw that out as well. Throw that out. Throw the box out. I say oversensitive. What, my spiritual gifts? So you got to shit on that as well. You know, being sensitive is a positive thing if used in the right way, you know. And I think I will hold my hands up and say, well, you've got to, in the whole personal development process, you get better at realising how to manage your... You just got to accept, look, I'm who I am, right? I might be sensitive, and, you know, to me that's, you know, taking care of little things and caring about little things and caring about big things and stuff like that, right? But you kind of let that flow into your relationships and life. And like someone says some, like, you know what, it'd be like Richie Blackmore, you know what I mean? He was like, oh, temperamental, and someone said something to him the wrong way around, and then he would just like go on a complete moody strop for the rest of the day. You don't know to be that person, you know. I'm just saying the stuff I've given out has not been appreciated. The kind of the things I care about, most other folk didn't care about. There's a few folk that care about the same things I care about, you know. But, get what I mean? You can't expect you can't be talking to somebody if you're on completely different planets with someone else. You can't expect to, like, you know. But I just thought folk would have grown up a bit more, but we are where we're at. But anyway, what else? Hands are freezing because I didn't bring the gloves today, so... But that might be a cool thing. I'll just get a new piece of... I'm not going to spend $200... How much a GoPro is? It's probably I was looking at it. It was either like a fancy outfit or a new set of carbon wheels. I'm thinking that might be cool for the road speed. Incidentally, in the carbon wheels, you know that the depth of the rim is important. The bigger depth, the shallower carbon rims are pretty much useless because the whole aerodynamic gains to be made from a disc wheel they come from the depth of the rim. You want like a 60mm, right? Because obviously the bigger the thing, it slices through the air better, there's less wind turbulence, so you didn't want to go for a carbon rim that's small. But anyway, I was looking at Chinese, cheap Chinese, you know, equipment, yes, let's do that to invigorate the whole thing, right? And like I say, when I get back to the computer, I think I could come up with some nicely edited, you know, going for Strava Crown POVs. But again, be individual, be unique. Edit the fucking POV with the street. I could take some of that, see what I mean? I could just talk for 20 minutes, right? On a certain day. Do the POV, obviously, buy a GoPro or buy this other device, right? Get the footage and you go, no, cut it cleverly, sophisticatedly, intelligently, right? With some of the stream of consciousness stuff and some of the audio visuals, just mad. I mean, the channel's called Mad Dav, for goodness sake, so that's the old remit of the thing. So the crazier you are, crazy but not crazy, if you know what I mean. You know, strained to craziness, but always with that level of artistic control that you can, you know, make your message hit the mark, so to speak. So I was thinking, I think that'll be the next thing. Get the broadband. The noiseless traffic is quite loud now. Hey, peep your horn, motherfucker! Wasn't that good last year when I did the peep your horn thing? I went fucking crazy on this 82, but again, it was like coming out of town and you feel like, oh, your spirit's free, have the courage to follow it, and you're riding along this 82 and you go, woo, yeah, freedom, and all that. That was fun, I enjoyed that. It was quite interesting getting, I wouldn't say, I didn't get arrested, but I got taken away in a police van. But again, that was a good moment of 2025, honestly, because it was cool, because it was shouting my head off. And actually, I didn't know the camera was recording. I wasn't doing it for any kind of views or anything. I was doing it because I actually felt this shit. I was like, ah! And you feel like you got to get certain things out. And again, the glorious blank canvas of the A82 and no one can hear your screams, you go, well, I can get this shit out. But of course, I wasn't quite out in the wilderness, was I? Somebody heard it and they phoned up the cops and then I got taken away in the van. But the glorious fucking thing about it was like, you're practically in a place like Glasgow, you're practically invisible when you do stuff like that. You know, they didn't even shouting my head off. Technically I breached the peace, never got arrested, never got charged with anything, right? But it was good, it was like, I felt the need to let that out. It was really quite nice, you know what I mean? And but you can't, I mean, a place like Glasgow, you're practically invisible. There's like way worse things going on than that. So, you know what I mean? Just like all my performance art, and I will call them performance art pieces, okay, that I did in the street. In a place like Dumfries, so you didn't be the first nail to stand up above the rest, because that's the first one to get hit. And I did get hit multiple times. It's like, well, I'll blow yous. And that was another reason why I was glad to get out at the time when that fucking lantern worked. No harm in them, but I mean, see when things happen in the town, I go, you know what, blow me, I'm out of here. I've not been appreciated. Practically invisible in this place. And if I see, there was a DJ playing up the high street, and I was like, see if I started to dance and actually get into it or whatever, there'd be some fucking person, you know, hashtag Scott Maxwell back in the day, he used to say this same thing. He'd be like, aye, there'll be someone ready to tell you off. Didn't enjoy yourself, you know what I mean? So, good to get out of the tune, innit? When you feel like your spirit's free and you can do what the fuck you want. Okay, David, I'm David Kerr, I see a whole army of my men here in defiance of, you know, anything, do what I want. Who gives a fuck? You can, it's really quite good, really quite freeing, but, so going back to the videos, I think, when I get back on the computer and start video editing, I think I could really, having taken quite a big time out, I think I could create some unique content. Threading the kind of different narratives that work on different levels. I've touched on that sometimes before in some videos. That's kind of work. You kind of play with folk, and then if you keep doing that style, I think people might catch on to it. You know, you do them in wee short videos and then use that style of, again, crazy mashup, but do it in a clever way, and then do that, and then as a wee preview, and then do full length versions, and do, you know, here's me attacking this Strava crown and da-da-da, and Gralloch's only 6 weeks away, and da-da-da, and try to work on my descent. But again, watching some of these gravel cyclists doing their thing, right, and I'm going, yeah, it's a bit boring though, this is what I mean, a bit like, I'm getting to the point, and certainly at the age that I'm at as well, where you go, do you know what, that world is a bit boring. I tried to kind of, with my content, sometimes like be a bit individual, be a bit. But the problem is, because folk are turning up to the clubs, they're all acting the same. It's all homogenisation and, you know, clotting of individuals in it, and there's no individuality. And I think that we need more folk like me. So if I thought that might be a day something like that. Day something. Well, that's what I'm saying. Watching some of these gravel videos, you go, they're good, they're better. Some of them are they're pro level and they're top amateurs. Cool. Okay, some of them are better, technically better athletes than me. But in terms of there's no personality. There's no. It doesn't stimulate it doesn't stimulate the imagination. It doesn't stimulate anything. It's just boring. And again, like I was saying, because I have the view that in not that much time from now, I'll be looking to kind of exit the sport in a way. So you kind of leave with a bang. Make your mark. Do something. If you call yourself Mad Dav, do something fucking mad, but do it with, you know, do something that's got a fucking A-star X factor. You know, break up the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, right? Because of AI and social media and online and everything, you could argue that how you would characterize the cycling club or the cycling endeavor, cycling pursuit is different now because of the environment we're in, right? So it's changing. So why not go with that flow and like make stuff that's a bit avant-garde, different, progressive, not just like stuck in the past. Put a GoPro with some boring commentary. Do we know what to be? Yeah, we want to achieve. Yeah, we want to achieve, but there's more to life than that. You know what I mean? Achieve in different areas. Anyway, super consciousness. Have a nice evening. I'm going to finish this dragon soup and have a lovely ride back in the A82. Kim, I mean, like, my hands are fucking freezing because I've no gloves, right? It's the gloves, right?